So here let me ask you a very important question. We spend so many days celebrating our history. How many days out of 365 days in a year do we dedicate to thinking about our future? How many days in a year? 365 days that we have in a year. How many days does our community spend thinking about the future, getting together and planning for the future? I think you know the answer as well as I do. I've never heard of any such event. So this is our predicament. Sat Sri Akal and hello again everyone. This is part 2 of the session that we started prior to this. We were talking about the predicament that Sikh community is in at the moment, in the sense that we are stagnated and we are not growing at all. And then I had talked about this stuck in history, being stuck in history. We just keep repeating history every year, keep celebrating and marking those events from history, and nobody is talking about the future. Nobody is organizing anything for the future, not for the youth, not for the adults, not for the elderly, not for the retirees, not for nobody, not for the sportsmen, not for nothing. Okay, so it's about time we took control. We took control of our future. It's time we took control. At the moment, we are headed for fate. Okay? If you don't plan a destination, then fate happens. So let me repeat that. If you don't plan a destination will take you to destiny. A destination takes us to our destiny. No destination takes us to fate. Then we shouldn't complain. Then we shouldn't cry. Okay? Now you look at the number of videos that you receive. Out of 10, 9 videos will be complaining about the sad state of affairs of the Sikh community. 9 of them. And just look at what's happening in Punjab. Just look at what's happening in UK, in the West, or whatever. No direction. A ship without a rudder. So much opportunity, my God, in the Western countries. Look at what the Muslims have done for themselves. They've understood the law and how to manipulate it and how to make it work for their advantage. Just look at what they've achieved. And look at where the Sikhs are. Nowhere. Except for in Canada, okay, we got a few ministers and this and that. Rest. Fast asleep. Just history. Keep celebrating Gurpurab. Nagar Kirtan kari challo. Akhand Path kari challo. No progress at all. No progress. Totally. I became aware of this, like about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I started to become very disillusioned. Some of you will recall that, I actually initiated a program called the Eagle Camp. That was my response to get this community moving. Eagle Camp was a response from the youth. Hundreds of them came forward. It was our response, our way of addressing this stagnation in our community. What happened with Eagle Camp? I think you all know about it. No need to talk about that. It's one of those nasty things that happened. So here we are. So I could see I had gone through so much trying to move this community, frustration everywhere, so much of inertia to change, so much of inertia, just cannot change, cannot let go of the past, anything new you introduce. So anyway, I think today we have the opportunity, today we have the technology, we can talk to each other. You look at these apps that we have, we can talk. You wherever you are, I can talk to you and you can talk back to me. You can give me your ideas, you can give me your visions, and and when we get the right people to move things for us. So here we are. So this inertia, we need to shed it off. We need to get rid of this inertia. ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ inertia ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਜਕੜ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਇਸਨੇ, ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ, and we are headed for fate. We are not headed for destiny, क्योंकि destiny वास्ते you have to plan a destination. साढ़े पास destination कुछ नहीं है. No destination. I made that very, very clear. We do not have a destination. We are a ship in the middle of the ocean, drifting with no rudder. We're just drifting. We're just existing, as I said in my previous video. So now we need to shake this off. We need to shake off this inertia. We need to become dynamic. We need to become organized. We need to become systematic. We need to become pragmatic. We need to look forward into the reality that is going to hit us in the face. The reality is going to hit us in the face because our children are going through a revolution, a re-evolution of humanity. They are living in a totally different world and we are going to get smacked. We are going to get smacked. Our community is going to suffer the most because we are the least organized and least prepared. We have no systems in place. We have no systems in place. We have no organizations in place. We have no think tank. We have no strategy department. We have nothing. No think tank, no nothing. So here we are. Now this is the opportunity. And these video recordings are all about the opportunity. Finally, I have a means which I can reach out to all of you. I can reach out to all of you for your support. And that is my prayer. I want you to look into the future. Remember, the history is in the tomb. Come on, guys. We need to let go of that. We need to let go of that. We can't just spend the rest of our lives just living in history. The future is in the womb. Words that I mentioned in my previous recording. So now the solution from what I can put together, we need to become a nation. We need to become a nation. We in Malaysia, we are so scattered. We are everywhere. Little town here, families here, families there. We are very, very scattered. We need to change our mentality, to change our psyche, to change our paradigms and move from being just a community to a nation. From a community to a nation. From Sikh community of Malaysia to Sikh nation of Malaysia. Now that would have set off a few alarm bells because I think, you see, for me too, until about 10-20 years ago, I used to think that the word nation means country. No, nation does not mean country. Nation has got nothing to do. Country means a place on this planet which has got a border and a boundary and clear lines. A nation is simply people who share the same history, the same language, the same culture, the same food, the same dress, the same values. Have I covered everything? Yeah, and we are a nation. Sikhs in Malaysia need to reorganize ourselves into a nation so that we develop a nation psyche. We need to come together as a nation. Not just as a community, oh, one small community here, one small community there, somebody in Johor Bahru, somebody in Malacca, somebody in Penang, somebody in Ipoh, somebody in Kuala. No. We need to become a nation, Sikh nation of Malaysia. So I hope I made myself clear. Nation has nothing to do with country or being. Nation is about a people who have similarity in every way. So that's the first thing we need to do. We need to change our psyche. At the moment, we are with community. Our level of thinking is up to community. So we got a community in Perak. We have a community in Negeri Sembilan. We have a community in Johor. We have community. So we have communities here. Then no. Stop. We need to become a nation. We need to get all of these people on board. The same ship. All of these people in Malaysia who share everything together to become a nation on the same ship, and we need to give this ship a rudder to steer the ship. No steering wheel, car going nowhere. No rudder, ship goes nowhere. We need to start thinking, we need to reorganize ourselves. Not really like a reorganize. ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਹੈਪੀਲੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਪਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਲਣਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਕੌਮ ਆ ਯੂ ਸੀ ਦ ਵਰਡ ਕੌਮ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ has to be understood correctly. Qaum means nation, not community. मैं पिछले वीडियो ते भी मैं साफ समझाया सीगा. So easy to misunderstand because Qaum sounds like community. Qaum sounds like community. So we think Qaum is, no, Qaum means nation. You see, like I first became aware of this about 20 years ago when I started to hear things like the American, the native Indian. The native Indians are a nation, who we call Red Indians, you know. The nation of Native Americans. Wow, they don't have a piece of land which is marked and say this is their country or whatever. So, the Jewish nation existed for 2,000 years before they even got their Israel. The Jewish nation. So I started to understand nation is different from country. We are not interested in country. We have a beautiful country. We live in Malaysia and we love Malaysia. Nobody is going anywhere. We love it here. But we need to develop a nation consciousness, a nation awareness. अपना एक मुट्ठ होना है as a nation, no longer as communities. और communities बड़ा काम छड़ना है अपा. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਚਾ ਉੱਠਣਾ ਹੈ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗਾਂਗੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਆਏਗਾ ਯੂ ਜਸਟ ਵਾਚ ਹਾਊ ਆਵਰ ਮੈਂਟੈਲਿਟੀ ਵਿਲ ਚੇਂਜ ਆਵਰ ਸਾਈਕੀ ਵਿਲ ਚੇਂਜ ਸਾਡਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਦਲੇਗਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖੜਾਂਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਵਰ ਫਰਸਟ ਪ੍ਰਾਇੋਰਿਟੀ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਮਾਈ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਦ ਸਿੱਖ ਮਾਈ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਦ ਸਿੱਖ that will become my first priority because now we are a nation. So ये जिहड़ी सोच है ये बहुत ज़रूरी है इस वक्त we need to reorganize ourselves into a nation, the Sikh nation of Malaysia, the proud Sikh nation of a proud Malaysia. So ये जिहड़ी चीज़ है and this is what can help us to re-engineer our life, to re-engineer our being in Malaysia. Once we start thinking of ourselves, of our nation, you will see your visions. You will start to see visions of where we need to go. Suddenly we are no longer the small little community of 10 families living in this little town and another 15 families living. It won't be anymore like that. It will be all of us. So, this is the first step that we need to take. We need to start thinking of ourselves as a nation. We need to start treating ourselves as a nation. We need to start treating ourselves as a nation. And once we can do that, and once we do that, तेरी तोर बदल जाएगी. तेरी तोर बदल. You will not walk like the way you are walking today. You will walk like you have your nation. You will walk different. You will talk different. You will dress different. You will behave different. So many things will happen to you. You will think different. You will organize different. You will relate to each other different. The other person, what will be our uniting factor? What will be our uniting factor? Let me remove my kada and just show it to you. This will be our uniting factor. देखो साडे गुरु बाबा ने गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी ने सानू गोल चक्कर वाला एक कड़ा दिता. Do you see any breaks in it? Do you see any discontinuity in it? Do you see any joints in it? No, it's one complete piece. We will become like this. As long as somebody is wearing a kada, that person is part of my nation. And I am all for that person. I will go out of my way for that person. A consciousness nu asi develop karna hai. So the starting point will be to create a nation. As a matter of fact, in 2003, I remember now, hun mere gallo chete hondi hai. 2003, 2004 was the 400th anniversary of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pehla Prakash. 400th anniversary. On that anniversary, I remember I was at that time lecturing to our Sikh students in universities in the UK, in London. There were two organizations, BOSS, British Organization of Sikh Students, and another one was Sikh students themselves. They used to invite me. I remember some talks that I gave at King's College in London. उत्थे मैं एक गल propose की थी 2004 to hold an international gathering at Leeds Castle. At Leeds Castle, I actually went to Leeds Castle. I tried to book the dates where we were going to get Sikh leaders from every every country where Sikhs are living. Where Sikhs are living, to get them there, and we sign a charter. And we sign a charter in Leeds Castle. It was a crazy dream, you know. So unfortunately, I gave the task. To the local guys to organize. I started email or communication with Leeds Castle, because Leeds Castle can be hired out. It's hired out for this type of events, you know, universal global events. So we thought we will hire it for a day, get everybody over there. It didn't go anywhere because I didn't get the support from guys. What you call it? They couldn't pull the thing together. They couldn't put it together. Oh, gal uthi rehgi. The idea was to launch a virtual nation. It was 2003 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ proposal ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ was to launch a virtual nation. Virtual, to be exist virtually. चलो वो तो गल पुरानी है. हुण आपां नूं फिर एक मौका है. आओ आपां अपनी सोच बदलिए ते आपां. Just before I conclude, I would like to share with you a little story. It's already 17 minutes. Okay, I'll share with you a little story about how this, you know, I sent my car for service one day. Those of you who know our area where we live in Star Park, you know, in front of the police station there was a mechanic there. There was a garage there, and this guy used to fix my car. And one day I sent the car, and he said this is going to take the whole day. And I said, okay, if it's going to take the whole day, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go home. And the walk home would be about 4 or 5 kilometers. And I said, I would love to do that. It was first thing in the morning. It's a nice cool day, and I started walking. Those of you who know Jalan Gombak will know that just a kilometer from the police station in Stapa, you have the Chonghua Secondary School, Chonghua Chinese School. And there was a road going in to the school, leading to the back of the school, and I had a feeling that this road is a shortcut. It's going to take me to Stapa Garden, where our house was in Stapa Garden at that time. And I thought I was going to try that. I walked in. I had just gone about 200 meters, and I looked on my right hand side and I saw there's a whole bunch of Chinese gentlemen sitting in a covered area. It must be 60, 70 of them. And just busy doing their own stuff, and fellas reading newspaper, fellas talking, chatting, sitting around a table. So what on earth are these guys doing here? So being the curious me, I walked up to them and I asked them, the first table, they were sitting around tables and all that. And I asked the guys, what are you guys doing here? And they said, hey, we are all members of the Magpie Club. You see over there? You see all those posts that we have? You see, we got all our magpies hanging in their cages of those posts. You see, magpies, they love to sing, and they will only sing when they are together with other magpies. And they love to sing in the morning. So what we do is all of us have magpies. I say, are you serious or what? He said, yeah, look, the number of cages out there, you can count the number of people here, and you will know that we all have our magpies. And we come here every morning, and we put the magpies up. They have this huge area which they put all these little posts there, and their little pulleys and some rope, and so every day they hoist these cages up and let the birds get on with their singing, and they're doing. So I said, what do? You can't be sitting here for 3 hours just doing nothing. He said, no, we don't do nothing. Then what do? Well, can you see those guys over there? They're all sitting in groups, some of them reading newspapers, some of them discussing, talking, whatever. We get together and we go through the newspapers and look for business opportunities. So here's this Magpie Club. The excuse to get together is the magpies. And they sit and they talk. They're all going through different Chinese newspapers. As you know, those of you who live in Malaysia, there must be at least 10 different Chinese newspapers, all going through different, and they publish this business opportunity. Those days was print media. Okay, this is going back about 20 years, as I keep saying, about this 20 years time when this shift came to, a lot of people would have observed that there was a huge shift in me about 20-25 years ago. And that time it was print media, and I remember in the print media, I used to be very curious myself. I used to read the column called Business Opportunities, all kinds of stuff. There was businesses that were being sold, people looking for partnerships, and that's what they do. And anybody got an idea and was excited by it, he would announce it. 5 fellas, 3 fellas, 10 fellas say, okay, I'm interested in that. Here's $10,000, here's $20,000. They put it together, and off they go. And that's what they do. He said, this is what we do. And there's this guy, sitting, how the Chinese will sit with one leg up on the stool, reading papers and this and that, talking and discussing, smoking away. And that kind of that really shaped my way of looking at community. It was amazing how these people can network. They've been networking for centuries. They got a club and an association and a society for anything you can imagine. If you go down Jalan Pekeliling, the old Jalan Pekeliling now became Tun Razak. One day I saw in the shop house, the Mahjong Makers, I'm speaking in English, of course the name is in Malay, the Mahjong Makers Association. Those guys who make the Mahjong, which in Chinese, their favorite gambling sport. Even they have an association. They have an association for 2 Chinese guys get together. They spot each other from distance and say, this guy looks like he is in the same business as me. Before the sentence is concluded, they already have set up an association. So associations are like little micronations. They are like micronations. They allow us to do things. They allow us to achieve things. They allow us to go beyond what we would only be able to do on our own. So I will be talking more about about this, about the nation, about networking. And I already mentioned to you before I end that I already have some idea how we're going to get some good people together and get them to help us, get them to give us some ideas. So please do subscribe. Please forward these videos to, as I said, decision making people, thinking people, people who are interested and concerned about things like that. So please do share, please do forward. Thank you very much.